The plague among youth pastors is often burnout. The life of the average youth pastor in a local church is 18 months in America. And summer after summer, as I talk to youth pastors and hear their story, I hear stories of burnout. It's really stories of disappointment when you get down to it. Disappointment sometimes in students that they're not responding to God the way that youth pastors had hoped. Sometimes it's disappointment that the youth group's not bigger. Sometimes it's disappointment in the senior pastor. Often it's feeling like they're in the wrong location or they're in the wrong church. But imagine with me change that's not change in horizontal. It's not change in geography, change in friendships, change in senior pastor. What if the change doesn't need to be horizontal? What if the change that's needed is vertical? I was talking to a youth pastor recently from a large church in America. He was telling me that he was done with youth ministry, that he was in a sense burned out, and I began to ask him questions about what he was doing and came to find out that he didn't spend time with God. And he told me that the urgency of ministry was so much, it required so much of him that spending time alone with God or building his youth ministry out of the place of prayer was just too much. It was too difficult. If that's a picture of what youth ministry looks like across America, no wonder the statistics are true. No wonder we're losing students in mass and youth pastors are burnt out. If we're not connected to God, it's a recipe for burnout. As Moses prays in Exodus 33, he says to God, if your presence doesn't go with us, don't send us from here. What else will distinguish us from everybody else on the planet? And I love that. What's the distinction? What's the mark? What's the thing that the people of God possess that's unique to them? It's his presence. You know, 80% of our young people today, when they turn 18, will leave the local church. 80%. Maybe we've been doing this all wrong. Maybe all the games and all the things that we've done to entertain students has become a distraction from building in the place of prayer, from making sure that the presence of God marks us as youth pastors and marks our students. If we're not spending time with God, we're not pastors, we're actors. There's a great need today. It's youth ministries built in the place of prayer, contending for the presence of God, like Moses did. Whatever you build your ministry on is what you'll have to maintain it on. And that's why we've created this prayer summit for youth pastors to gather, spend time alone with God, get into his presence and ask God what he wants them to do in their youth ministry, and develop a relationship with comrades from across the country that are building their youth ministries out of the place of prayer, desperate for his presence. I'd like to invite you to be a part of our Desperation Youth Leader Prayer Summit this spring. Put it on your calendar, be there. Let's unite and pray together and see what God wants to do in local church youth ministries across America.